It's entitled Are You Ready? And
Yes. We're gonna talk about that
yeah,
today.
I'm
We are
excited
going to
about
talk
that.
about that.
And that's a very special work. And it's kind of why I've been in child welfare for over 30 some years. But that's kind of why I wanted that master's in social work
Yeah.
so that I could be the kind of counselor and first lady
Hmm.
that people need. I wanted to have not only
I love that.
the natural perspective
Yeah.
on marriage, but definitely the spiritual perspective
Yes.
because there's sides of marriage
Yeah.
and most people only deal with the willies in their stomach.
Yeah.
I'm in love, I feel in love, but
Not the
it's
Willis.
more than that. They get the willies in their stomach, or he makes me feel all tingly when I see him, but what are you going to do when the tinglies are gone? And so that's kind of where I am today, and loving life, loving marriage, loving
Yeah.
you, but not all of them because I got one that isn't. And if I got one, who am I? That the next person couldn't have a man who brings joy into their life.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to be married and miserable. I
Yeah.
don't believe in that.
No. No.
I
No.
just don't. And that doesn't mean you get a divorce.
Kingdom first, that's my desire. Not fleeting love or earthly fire. I'm single, but I'm never alone. With you, Lord, I found my home. My home, my home.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ESCOM podcast, the Single and Kingdom Minded podcast. I'm your host, Erica Zafir. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ESCOM podcast, the Single and Kingdom Minded podcast. I'm your host, Erica Zafir, and today we have an amazing guest with us. It's my first lady. I am so excited to have you here with us.
I'm excited for the invitation. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Listen, I'm so excited. When I saw your email, I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, she said yes. So I got very excited. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Ooh, let's see. Well, I'm Christine Shaw.
Okay. Okay.
And my responsibilities start with the fact that I'm a wife,
Okay.
and I'm a mother.
Yes.
And I have been married to a wonderful man
Yes.
for 34 years. And I have four amazing daughters,
Yes.
and that I feel I've really been blessed with a wonderful marriage. I've been blessed with a wonderful family, and one that I would say I probably didn't deserve. And it's because I know it's God's grace that I have what I have. And so I've had it as long as I've had it because I'm grateful for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect it and I appreciate what God has given. And I don't take the blessings of God lightly. So that's kind of where I am. And I do have a master's degree in social work. I also have a graduate certificate in therapeutic modalities because I'm also an author of a book and I'm very, very excited about it. It's entitled Are You Ready?
We're gonna talk about that
Yeah,
today.
I'm
We are
excited
going to
about
talk
that.
about that.
And that's a very special work. And it's kind of why I've been in child welfare for over 30 some years. But that's kind of why I wanted that master's in social work so that I could be the kind of counselor and first lady that people need. I wanted to have not only the natural perspective on marriage, but definitely the spiritual perspective because there's sides of marriage
Yeah.
and most people only deal with the willies in their stomach. I'm in love, I feel in love, but
Not the Willis.
it's more than that. They get the willies in their stomach, or he makes me feel all tingly when I see him, but what are you going to do when the tinglies are gone? And so that's kind of where I am today, and loving life, loving marriage, loving
Yeah.
you.
And I love you too. I love you
I keep
too.
telling you, if you ever come up for adoption, I want you.
You know what? And you know what? That sticks with me. That sticks with me. You hear me? After my mom passed and then grandma passed, I mean, it just looks like everybody just keep going. It's just so amazing to have somebody to say, you know what? Just come and be with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're an amazing young lady.
Thank you.
And had a wonderful opportunity to watch you blossom and grow into who you are in front of this platform that you have. And definitely, you're a special daughter to me. You are. And I mean, because you are super amazing. And the man that comes into your life, he better be just as. And we're not going to settle for anything less because we know what to look for.
Nothing
And we know what to
less.
pray for. He better bring it, okay?
Yes.
If he's not bringing it, we're going to have a problem.
Yes, we are.
So,
We are. Bishop already said it. Bishop already said the same thing. We're gonna have a problem.
it's
If he
we're
don't
gonna have a
bring it,
problem. It's gonna have to he's gonna have to be spiritually discerned. He's gonna have to be all that God would have him to be.
yes,
Because
I
there are
agree.
too many young ladies who are getting married and they're miserable. And a lot of the marriages today,
Woo,
even
let's
in the
talk about
faith-based
that.
community, are not making young people today want to get married.
That's true. It's
You
true.
look at half the marriages and people come in and they go and they're like, oh my God, you just got married. We're excited. We bought you a gift. 2 months later, y'all sitting on different sides of the church. Y'all don't have anything to
Hmm.
do with each other. You're not talking. Or,
You can tell
that
it too.
husband
I
is
mean, just
texting somebody
yeah.
else,
You know,
or he's being disrespectful. So yeah.
I heard about the husbands texting other people.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, why is that? Like, why are we all in the house of God? You done waited for
Hmm.
that man. You get married, and all of a sudden, y'all in the church sitting on different sides. He texting somebody else. What was missed?
I think what was missed is we have to understand that everybody sitting in the church is not a part of the
Yeah,
church.
not a part. Mm,
It's no different than if a snake gets in the church. That
yeah,
snake is not a part of the church. He doesn't belong there. But if he's stuck up in the corner somewhere and he may have beautiful colors, he might look good, and we may want to call him a pet, but that doesn't mean that he belongs there. So there are men in the church that women marry that really didn't belong there. I'm not saying they didn't belong in the church, they didn't belong in that marital relationship.
yeah, yeah.
They
That
didn't
has to
belong in that
be.
marital relationship. That's why you have to do your homework and
Mhm.
you have to not just date, but you got to collect data.
Yes.
Because so many women are just got the willies. They want a wedding. They want to get married. You
You
get
never
all
gonna forget
excited.
that.
Really. I mean, it's that tingly
Really?
thing in your stomach. But what happens when the tingle goes down? Do you have a relationship? And this is why, some of these marriages are not working. And some men are disrespectful, but not all of them, because I got one that isn't. And if I got one, who am I? That the next person couldn't have a man who brings joy into their life.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to be married and miserable. I
Yeah.
don't believe in that.
No.
I
No.
just, and that doesn't mean you get a divorce. It
Yeah.
means you marry your life partner.
That's true.
We're a rib, and you got to
Mm,
connect with the right body. Because the problem is, you can squeeze your rib into any body, but
right.
is it a good fit?
Mm, yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Is it a good fit? And there's interesting things about ribs. Ribs can grow back.
Really?
Hmm.
What?
Ribs can go back.
Okay,
So
hold on. Tell me about this science. Hold on.
ribs can go back. And so, that's why when you know that you're that man's rib and he knows that you're his rib, he's not looking for another one. A man can go and connect with so many women,
Wow.
and sometimes think nothing of it. Where women, you go cheat and you about to lose your mind. You done started drinking, you at the altar screaming out. How many men have you known ever been to the altar screaming out, I'm having an affair?
You ain't never seen that one.
They can grow another rib. Think nothing of it.
Wow. Oh.
Not all, but but the body allows you to grow another rib. So he just gonna connect with him another woman and he keep going. And you about to
Wow.
lose your mind, you crying, you at the altar screaming out and everything else. I remember this one situation with this young lady, she was having an affair with a pastor. And it was horrible because she got to the altar and started crying out and she's like, Lord, forgive me, I'm sleeping with the pastor. Okay. Well, it was altar time.
Listen.
Okay. He wasn't even her he wasn't even her body.
Yeah.
But she was screaming out because it wasn't right. Women are so emotional when it comes to things that happen with the body.
Right. Right. Oh.
But he
Wow.
was prepared to preach, and his wife sitting in there, but the girlfriend at the altar screaming out, Lord, I've been sleeping with the pastor. So, I mean, when we really look at things,
Yeah.
you got to have the right body because when that man gets his right rib, And I mean a woman who loves him, honors him, respects him, and takes care of him. He's not looking for another. And you can be that woman that he won't look for another.
Mm.
But so many women, we're trying to treat our husband the way we saw maybe our mother's marriages,
True.
grandparents' marriages,
That's
and that's not the marriage for you. You create your marriage. The Bible says that the woman has to learn to love her own
her
husband.
own husband.
But you
Wow.
trying to
Yes.
love your husband like your mother loved or didn't love hers. So you messing up your marriage trying to duplicate somebody else's.
Yeah.
That's your man. Why are you trying to act like somebody else's household?
Wow.
The Bible says a woman can build or she can pluck down.
I was talking to this young lady
Hmm.
who said, I want my marriage to be just like this person. I want a man just like that man. Why is it so dangerous to have that type of mindset?
It's because the woman who's with that man built that man.
Mm,
And unless you're her, I don't care what man you get, he will never be him.
mm,
The man that you create will be the man that you create
yeah.
because it's who you build. And it is in us as women to build. So if we can build a house, we can build a man. And the Bible talks about how, the man was sitting in the gate.
Good.
You understand?
Good. Yeah.
So I want my man in the gate. So with him being a man of God, it wasn't enough for him just to be a brother in the church. Let me build this man. And let me help this man be everything that God is calling him to be,
Yeah.
because he needs to be in the gate. I knew I was marrying a man who needed to be in the gate. And a lot of women are like, oh my God, the woman in Proverbs was doing this, all the other, and the man was sitting at the gate. What do you think he was doing at the gate? All of the major stuff for the community happened at the gate. You want a man who's making decisions, not only in the community, but for his home. And you can build that man so he can make those decisions for not only his home, but for the community.
Wow.
It's in you to build. But if you're
It.
trying to build a man like I built mine, you'll never have that. And then you'll be frustrated with what's coming through your door.
Mm, wow.
I'm on the floor hollering, my king, you just came home. I'm on my knees. I love to embarrass my husband. Sometimes he'll get out the car and go in the grocery store, my king, I love him. I embarrass the daylights out of him because you know what? That's my king. And I don't care if
Yeah.
everybody knows that's my king. So I would expect the other woman not to be saying my king to my man, but you say my king
Amen.
to
Now
your
see.
man. You build your king because I done built mine.
Yeah.
Mine is stable. Mine come home every night.
Oh. Come
Mine is
on.
stable.
Yes.
If he ain't home, he with the bishops or the apostle.
Yeah.
Or he in the hospital. And mine isn't home.
Oh my God.
But that's what I
Wow.
built. I poured me into mine. That's what you do, baby.
Wow. Wow. You got to pour into that man.
Hmm.
Mm. So, how do you prepare to even pour into a man? You a single woman, you want to get married. How do you get yourself ready to that point where you're like, this is what I want to do? Like, I want to be able to actually build my husband or be with my husband.
I think the problem we have is we want the marriage before we get a man.
Okay.
So what are you preparing for?
Right. Right.
Your focus as a single woman is to build you,
Mm-hmm.
not spend all your time trying to build a man you don't have yet.
Mm.
Once you get him and you learn him,
Yeah.
then you will know how to build him. You know why you'll know?
Mm.
Because it is in you to know. You're a woman.
Yeah.
You are a beautiful creation of God. You will know what you need to do for that man
Yeah.
because he will be yours. But until that man comes, why are you trying to be a wife?
Mm.
And my question would be,
Ain't no living with that man.
that's why you don't want to live with one.
They be like they want to test drive and like,
Well,
what they said. They want to
test
test.
drive.
They want
Would
to
you
test
like to
drive. They
know
want
that
to
the man
see.
test drove you?
Mm-mm.
I mean, would you want to know that he invited you to his home for a week and he
Yeah.
test drove you and he decided at the end he didn't want to purchase you?
Wow.
Even Beyonce had enough sense to sing, "If you wanted it, you should have put a ring on it," or something like that. Even she said that. So how is it that she is saying you need to put a ring on, but the church women want to go ahead and slip and slide?
Mm. Mm. Wow. Wow. They want to let them slip and slide.
Yeah. So you build you. And guess what? If you're going to get on your back early, why would he not continue to ride and test drive the car? And how many women are broken afterwards because he chose
Mm.
not to purchase?
Wow. Because you're taking all that in.
Yeah.
All the spirits. I mean, he probably done test drove a whole bunch of others. So, oh.
And the problem with intimacy before you get married is that a man can get that from any woman.
Mm.
He can pay for it if he wants to. Why would you, the old people used to say, why buy a cow? Why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free?
Mm.
Why am I going to invest in you?
It's true.
Why am I going to put a ring on your finger and get a home for you and build a life for you if I get everything for free?
Yeah.
And we decrease our value with men.
Mm-hmm.
Even so much so that women don't even allow men to open the door for them anymore. I've kind of talked to some men because I'm working on another book, and
Mm-hmm.
they're saying that women don't want to really be women today. They don't allow men to open the door. They don't allow the men to really treat them like women because they reach for the door. So, what are your thoughts? Because I see a look on your face.
I'm gonna stand there and have my door be open. But that's me. But then this day and age, we're dealing with the feminists or feminism type of mentality,
Mhm.
right? And so a lot of women, it's the whole equal rights all day long, but then that's pushing a lot of the men away. They don't want to, because we're saying no. A lot of the women are saying, I'm not saying we, let me take myself out. But yeah, I gotta take myself out. Cause yes, open the door. Yes, pull whatever. Like, come on, lift that heavy stuff. I was talking to Chantel, your
Mhm.
daughter. She said, if I'm around, if there are men around,
Mhm.
I don't do hard work. Cause it's first lady, I get it. And I get where the men are coming from,
Mhm.
where they saying the women are not letting them do certain things. First, it does come from the whole feminism thing, yes, but then also a lot of women are having to be independent at a very young age
Mhm.
because of what they encounter. It could be in their household where they had to grow up fast. They could have seen a man not being a real man in the household. And so they grow up thinking, I can do it all by myself. Because I feel like that's where the whole independent mindset, or even being a feminist, I feel like that's where it came from. It's the women actually experiencing all those things. So then they get older, then they like, I can do that. I can lift my own boxes. I can lift my own boxes. I'm not gonna say I didn't used to say that. Okay. I used to say it. So when I used to go to the temple, Apostle said, I don't want to see none of these women lifting up a table, lifting up a chair. I don't want to see none of these women lifting none of that. Because what y'all are here for? Like, he's going in, right? He's going in
Mhm.
preaching. Okay. I was like, okay, cool. So then I had to do something out there. I think my mom was cleaning the church and I helped her clean the church.
Okay.
So we had so many bags outside. I asked one of the brothers to help me with the bags, and he said the dumpster was back there.
Mm.
And I was like, in my head, I'm like, what happened? Didn't the apostle say none of these women spoke? So I said, thank you. Is there any way you can help me take it, back over there? And he was like, oh, I'm in a hurry. Thank you. That's all I could say
Mhm.
was thank you. Another time, a table. Can you open this table? Can you drag this table over here for me, please? Um, I'm in a hurry. I can't do that right now. So I'm standing there like, scratching my head like, so then I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to do it myself. I'm gonna have to do it myself. So then sometimes, I'll just do it myself because I feel like if I ask the wrong person, now I pick and choose who I'm gonna ask these days. I pick and choose. I know who's gonna say yes, I'll bring the table, and I know who's gonna be like, I'm a little busy. So yeah, I pick and choose. But yeah,
Couple of nuggets.
okay, I'm listening.
First thing you mentioned the feminists, and I would have to say I'm wondering who are they dating?
Themselves.
Okay. So if they're dating each other, so as women, why would we want to pattern after them? Because if they want to be the man, just like it says in my book, listen, you be the woman, let him be the man. Because
Yeah.
guess what? That my little scenario is let him go get the dead rat and you put the food on the table.
Okay.
Let the man be the man.
Okay.
And I probably, would have lifted the thing myself, or either I would have just waited.
Mm-hmm.
Or I would have said, oh, thank you. I'll just wait till a man comes by. Because I asked you.
Younger.
And you want a man. I mean, I'm dating. I'm asking for a man because obviously you may not have been that man. And
I was 19, first lady. Like I didn't have the guts to say that.
I
was like, I was a
respect that.
teenager.
I
Like,
really
I was
do.
like,
and I may not have said it to him, but I may have said, hey, sis, I'll be there as soon as a man comes by. I mean, what else are we going to do? We need help. Or I would have asked one of the elders, excuse me, do you have any men available to help us? I mean, because you're trying to be obedient to what the man of God has said. Sisters, I don't want you doing this.
Yeah.
So with him saying, no, he didn't have time, you did it anyway, then you were out of order. Because the thing is, we want to be obedient to what we're taught. And when we go against what we're taught, it's like, because eventually a preacher's going to come by and you just standing by a table. I asked Brother so his brother said he can't help me. He told me what a trash can was.
That man sure did.
All you're doing is testifying to what you experienced. And I mean, some of the pastors laugh all the time saying that they wish sometimes, even ours sometimes, listen, I wish some of y'all women could be a deaconess because y'all women will come in here and help.
It's true.
Like, wait a minute.
It's true. Yeah.
But if we keep doing it,
Yeah.
why would they do it?
Why would they even try? Because we're doing it. We're doing it.
And we're supposed to help build men. So if we're doing their job, why would they?
Wow. That's true.
If you open the door,
That's true.
why would he open the door? If you opening the door for him, you open the door, you go through, and then he goes through. And you have to wonder if he's going to catch the door behind you. We got to build men. And it starts with mothers, too. You have to teach your sons how to be men by starting them with you.
Yeah.
Because if your son doesn't open the door for you, he's not going to open the door for a woman. More than likely, he may not even open the door for a woman that he's dating. So we have generations of frustrated people.
Wow.
And it's the women who are not doing their job in the home. Teach your son.
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell these young men and I ask them, how you treating your mama? How you treating your grandmother?
Yeah.
Do you open the door for her? No, ma'am. You let's work on that, son. Because one day you're going to want to get married, you're going to want to date, and you want to be a good man. Because they'll break their neck to come help me. Don't step over your mother or your grandmother to come help me.
Makes sense.
Because then I'm out of order. No, I got to send him back to do what's right. Then you come help me. Oh, I saw you helping your grandmother, Sister Shaw. Can I help you? Yes, you can. But don't come carrying my bags and your grandma or your mama is struggling to get in the door.
But there are a lot of men in the church that does that. They'll do it. They'll help other women. Because then it went from not helping at all, right? With the whole, oh, I'm going to grab the table myself thing. It goes from that to now you are getting help, but then the wives are not. And I witnessed something one time. I saw a wife carrying a car seat, heavy car seat, and This man was helping somebody else, another woman at that. I watched her go straight to her seat, and then another woman had to come and kind of help, get the baby situated, get her situated. And you over there helping another woman. Like how I really want to ask, how is this allowed? But I don't think it's not necessarily allowed, but it's more of, why is it happening? Can we how can we fix that? Should the wife get to the point and just put the car seat down and say, I'm gonna wait for him to come and get it? Is that
Well, and I mean, that's a really good question because I have good communication with my husband and I didn't have that problem. So, and I have 6 children in total, 2 I adopted and 4 girls. And he helped me get all of our kids out the car,
mm,
being the pastor, and came in and helped me get set up and went to do what he had to do. I was never left struggling with the kids.
so honestly, there's no excuse.
But I have a marriage where I can communicate to my husband. And if that had have been him, I could have said, honey, it really hurt when
Yeah.
I saw you helping the other lady and it seems like you forgot me and the baby. If you don't say anything and you just sitting over there mad, then all he sees is a woman who's mad all the time. But you
Mhm.
don't ever communicate.
Wow.
Submission doesn't mean you don't have a voice in your house.
Yeah.
And I see my submission to my husband as a privilege to him. And he has earned that privilege
Yeah.
with how he has treated me.
Yeah.
And I have done my part to build my part of the marriage
Yeah.
so that I receive from him what I receive.
Mhm.
So he didn't do that to me.
Mm.
Now you see us now.
Yeah.
I'm 58, he's 63. We get out the car now. We just get out. Like, go on to the church, honey, or can I go ahead on, now, but we've been married 34 years.
Yeah.
I don't need him to carry anything now.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of funny. But
he
during
still
those,
he still be trying to carry something.
but if we're on a date, now when he and I are on a date,
yeah.
I wait in the car because he told me one time, I was like, honey, you didn't open the door for me. He said, you didn't wait. I was like,
Go ahead, Bishop.
I was like, yes, sir. He said, I have a cane. It takes me a minute to get around there. Why you out the door?
Mm.
You didn't give me a chance. I was like, okay.
Now you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait. Wow. So it takes that communication.
Absolutely.
Communication is very important in marriage and even before marriage.
Absolutely.
So how can a single person who let's say a single person who's dating and they want to be married, how can they make sure that they are able to communicate?
You will know that by how he treats you.
Okay.
Because a man will let you know up front whether or not you're going to have a voice in a relationship with him.
Wow. Okay.
You can tell from his personality
Okay.
whether or not you'll have a voice.
Yeah. The way he treats you.
The way he treats you. My husband always allowed me to communicate.
Yeah.
I was educated. He's educated. So I didn't go to school to be a dummy.
Come on.
I went to school to be not just successful for myself, but to have something to bring to the table.
Yeah.
So I have a sharp mind. And if you don't utilize my sharp mind, then how is our house going to get to where it can be?
Yeah. I like that you say utilize my sharp mind.
Yes.
I love the fact
Utilize
that
it.
you brought that up.
Utilize it. You're educated.
Yeah.
You are extremely accomplished.
Thank you.
Beyond the norm at your age.
I'm trying to find something to hide my face.
I mean, you're extremely accomplished. So I can imagine that many men may be intimidated by you because you're already set and very powerful.
Mm.
You have a lot to bring to the table. Not only do you bring to the table, but you bring the cart, you bring the wagon, you bring everything. I mean, you're solid.
Yeah.
So you would have to have a man who's just as solid as you, or you would have to be willing to really have a man that you got to work up.
Yeah.
Now, my only problem with getting a man who's really not on your level is you do so much to get him up there, and then now you're really happy with him, and all them other women are too. So if he's not a strong man, then now all of a sudden, because you built him into this, now he wants to pass himself around to everybody.
Mm.
So he better have a strong relationship with God while you building him.
Yeah.
But if you and him on the same plane and y'all building each other, then you're constantly compatible.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're up here and he's down here, and all of a sudden he's got a job, all of a sudden he's dressing nice, all of a sudden he's got businesses because that's what you brought to the table, and he's piggybacking on what you brought,
Yeah.
you know, he
Mm.
better be solid in God.
And all the other sisters now happy too.
Because now they're looking at, is that brother so and so? Now brother so and so is dressed nice. Now brother so and so driving a nice car. Now brother so and so is going to school, got a good job, and now everybody else looking at it. Because nobody wanted him when he was scrawny and nothing.
Mm.
But you were up here and you took him from here and brought him up here with you.
Is it wrong to say that I don't want the scrawny? I don't want the scrawny.
But you have to know whether or not that's the man for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I was having a conversation with someone, and he basically was like, a man don't care about your little education. And honestly, that hit the wrong nerve. It hit the wrong nerve because, and I always bring up the fact that I'm Haitian and I'm from Haiti. You pay for school in Haiti. School is expensive. So for me to come here and get my high school degree for free, and you gonna tell me my little education don't mean anything? I done went to college. I done got a master's, and you telling me in Haiti I would have to go clean somebody's house. If my parents could not afford for me to go to school, I would have had to go stay with someone else and hope they pay for me to go to school. Keyword, hope, because most of them didn't.
Wow.
For those kids. So then when I meet someone, and now I don't wave the flag that, oh my gosh, I'm this, I'm that. I don't wave the flag. But if we are having a conversation and that comes up, the comment should not be, ain't no man care about your little education.
I can give you some cases and points
That
where
hit that nerve.
the young lady, one I'm thinking of, was very accomplished. Her husband was not. He was working 2 jobs trying to match her one. He eventually started feeling less than a man because he
Oh.
compared himself to her, but she didn't compare herself to him. He couldn't handle it. So he ended up leaving. And she lost her marriage because she had all of this and she already had it. And see, he was from the beginning looking for a roof. He wasn't just because he was living from pillar to post.
See, she got one of them. What they call them? Hobo.
Hobo.
Not the hobo. I think that's what they. The name might be different, but I think that's what it is.
Too cute.
I think that's what it is. That's a man that does not have anything, but is looking for somewhere to be.
So yeah, he loves you. Doesn't mean he doesn't love you. But how long is that going to last when all of a sudden, in his mind, his manhood is being challenged? And if you can't keep him built up to say, hey, honey, it doesn't matter if I make 50,000 and you make 20,000, together we still have 50. But in his mind, this is why you collect data before you get married and see that this is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But right now, because you don't have nowhere to stay and you living from pillar to post and I already have somewhere to stay, yeah, you want to move in. And you know I have a standard, so you're going to marry me. But are you going to stay? And then I'm thinking of another young lady. She had her doctorate and she wanted to marry this guy that she met in prison. She wasn't in prison, but through a relative's mind who was connecting educated women with prisoners. It was really crazy. So she was like, well, should I marry him? And I said, wow, that's interesting. And I said, I can't tell you whether or not you should marry him. But let me ask you this. I said, do you ever have business meetings or anything to do at the college or the university with your doctorate? And she said, yeah. I said, so you take your husband who just got out of prison because they were going to get married as soon as he got out. And they're talking about your education. They ask your husband, oh, what line of work are you in? And he says, oh, I'm not working. I just got out of prison. Can you still respect him? Or are you going to ask him in the first place to stay home because you got somewhere to go?
Wow. Wow. Wow.
He got out. I said, would you consider just giving him a month before y'all get married? He was out 3 weeks and went back to prison.
Oh my God.
So had they gotten married the first week he got out,
Well, she would have
she'd have
been
been
married,
stuck like
living
Chuck.
single. Stuck.
But even thinking you have a doctorate
Wow.
and he just got out of prison,
Wow.
are you going to be embarrassed? Is he going to be embarrassed to introduce your husband to your colleagues? Why do that to you or him?
Especially he just got out. Like he hasn't set his life up for anything. Because you know, some people they get out of prison, but they have a mindset to make it. So they come out, they know they might not be able to find a job, but they start a business. You know, they start doing good.
Mm.
But if you come out, you're not doing anything, you go right back to the lifestyle. Because most likely that's why he ended up back there. Wow. You know, Bishop asked me the same question. I came to Bishop, I said, Bishop, you know, somebody trying to holler at me. I said, Bishop, this is who he is. This is what he does. This is where he goes. And he said, I have one question. I said, what's that? He said, you are an accomplished woman. Now, can you see yourself? Because you know, with the background of like the acting or whatever, he said, can you see yourself taking that man to where you are receiving an award, to a room where you just talking to all these different people? Do you think he can represent you well? I scratched my head. He said, that's what I thought. He's like, nah.
But is it fair to either one of you?
No.
Because you marry him because you're up here and he's here in success and you're ashamed of him. You're not ashamed of him at home, but you're ashamed to take him out. It's not fair.
And that's not fair. That it's not yeah, it's not fair to both. It's not fair to both because especially, you know, he probably in love. That man is in love. He loves you and he'll go anywhere. He'll do anything. But then you ashamed of that man. Oh,
But
that's
is he as
tough right there.
motivated as you are? Because it doesn't mean that you just discard him because he's
Yeah.
not as successful. But
Yeah.
I would say, you know, is that lady going to consider giving him an opportunity to grow into himself? Because you want to always honor the man you're with.
Yeah.
And if you think in the
I
back of your
agree.
mind, you might be ashamed to take him because he may have to say, I work here, I work there.
Yeah.
And it's not so much the job, so much it is being compatible on any level that you're on. And whether or not, if there is some incompatibilities, can the two of you handle that without being embarrassed of each other? I've had cancer. My husband's had spinal surgery. And I'm different. He's walking different. And we haven't dropped a beat. I didn't know how much he loved me until I went through breast cancer.
Yeah. Wow.
And he never treated me differently. And I was like, wow, this man is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm like, he just showed me love on a whole different level. So then when he ended up going through spinal surgery and he had been paralyzed and now he's walking again, there was no second thought about me not wanting to be there for him
Yeah.
because he showed me first that he was going to be there for me through the changes in my body and changes in my life. So I couldn't help but be there for him. And we just so used to each other.
After 34 years.
We don't care what shape each other is in. You come through the door, I come through the door. Just come home. I mean, it's like, and we have exercised our vows for what is it, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, to have the whole
Sickness and
all of
health
it.
now.
Sickness and health. We've had it. We've had it.
Yeah. Wow. And it is definitely amazing. Just to hear you talk about him like that.
And I mean it.
Yeah. Because you wanna get married and you want to get to the point where it's like, oh my gosh, I love this person.
Yeah.
Like this is my person. That's where we all like should strive to be.
That's my person. I love that. That's my
Yeah.
person.
And you got, how do you know that early on that you're like, oh, this my
Mm.
person? Is there
Everything
like a,
everything just falls into place.
like before marriage?
Hmm. It starts
Okay.
falling into place. And we talked a whole about 30 days. Let me see. Was it about 30 days? Because we got married and we got engaged. It's no 6 weeks of knowing each other. So we
Wow.
talked about 2.5 weeks, 2.5 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it was like 6, 7, 8 hours on the phone because we get off of work and he wouldn't let me talk
That's
to
why he said
him
his phone bill was so high.
until he got out of church. And then church. So that's the thing, you had 3 days to stay saved on your own.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't call me till after they got out of church.
Wow.
So that was like 11, 12 o'clock because they didn't rush out of church. And
That
then we would
fellowship was
talk from
real,
like
huh?
12 or 1 till 6 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock till it was
Mhm.
time to get dressed and go to work.
Yeah. Wow.
And I think we both had to be to work at 8, and I
Mhm.
had to be to work 2 counties away.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow.
No, it was 1 county.
Hmm.
No, it was 2 counties because I was in Northport.
Where's that?
Northport
Wait,
is
is that
south because I
Newport
lived in
Richie?
Sarasota, so we had to go through maybe it was a county away. Mhm.
Okay.
But Northport might have still no, Northport was still Sarasota County, but it was like almost a 45-minute to an hour drive to work.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and back
Wow.
then, talking on the phone was a collect call.
What was that, like $1 per minute?
So that's why it was like in 2 weeks.
You have been discussing your book. You've been talking about your book, and we have your book here with
Mhm.
us, right here, beautiful book. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes, by Christine Shaw. So why don't you tell us what can we expect from this book?
Oh my goodness, you can expect the unexpected. And of the one thing that I would say is the book has at the top, it's guaranteed to help you decide. And it's guaranteed to help you to decide whether or not the person you're thinking about marrying is the right person for you,
Okay.
whether or not they're your life partner, because there are different sides to a marriage. You have the business side, you have the love side, and most people are so caught up on the love side, but they forget the business side.
Yes.
And we get, the love includes the emotional and all of that stuff. But there are so many different aspects of marriage that people don't think about. And that's why it took so many pages to help them to explore.
Yeah.
And I always recommend that the young lady and the young man get the book and that they have a coach to guide them through it.
Yeah.
And like their pastor or, my husband and I do offer some sessions with the couples to get them started and everything because marriage is so serious. It's not a contract. You don't just get to break it. It's a
Yeah.
covenant before God. And the only way to get out of that is through death. So
Ooh,
you can get
my God.
divorced all you want to, but you're still married. Romans chapter 7, many of us would like to say we wish it wasn't there, but as long as that person is alive, and that doesn't mean
Yes.
go kill them, it does not mean that. That's still your spouse.
That's still your spouse. Wow. I love that you talk about the love side and the business side. I don't remember which one of my guests I was discussing
Mhm.
that with, but the number one killer of marriages, finances. It's not even the emotional side or the love side, but it's the business side. That's the number one.
Yeah.
And you're so right. We
Yeah.
focus so much on like, what is it, the willies?
You get the willies in your stomach. Yeah.
We focus so much on the willies and we're not,
Yeah.
focusing on that, making
Yeah.
sure everything's good.
Yeah.
You start popping those babies, they're expensive.
Yeah.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
So how do you even plan for that?
Plan for the children or plan for marriage or plan for your relationship?
Okay, so you're getting married,
Okay.
you in love. So we get the love side out of the way. The business side. How do you set your life up for that? How do you plan for that as a couple?
As a couple, it starts from your family history,
Okay.
to be honest, because whatever he was raised with or she
Mhm.
was raised with, that's what they have in their suitcase.
Okay.
And you have to unpack your suitcase before you get married. I don't mean unpack your suitcase to move in with each other. I
Okay.
mean unpack your life suitcase so that you can see side by side whether or not we can touch and agree and build a life together. So you need to know about his family. You need to know about medical history. I heard, and medical
Mm.
history is important.
Yeah.
That's part of the business
Yeah.
side because you can go broke with somebody being sick
That's true.
if you don't have a good job, you don't have good insurance. And I heard
True.
one young man, I used to ask men to come and teach our Sunday school class so that the ladies could hear the man's perspective as well. And I remember this one brother, he said he doesn't like sick women. For somebody like
It makes
me
sense.
who's had health issues from birth, he couldn't be a life partner for me
Mm. No.
because more than likely I'm going to have some sickness and you're going to wish you hadn't married me. And because I had sickness,
That's
I
so
had to
tough.
look at how my husband treated his mother and his father when
Mm.
they were sick. That's looking at the business side as well, because when I saw him taking care of his mom, when I saw him taking care of his dad, I knew that he would take care of me when I was sick. And he proved that because I ended up with cancer.
I don't feel well. I'm gonna need you.
Right.
Yeah. If I don't feel well, I'm gonna need you.
Yeah.
Wow.
But if you know up front that he's can't handle a woman who's sick, you need to know whether or not that's going to work for you. Because whenever you're sick a little bit before you get married, sometimes it gets worse after marriage, especially when you have a child,
Mm.
you're pregnant. A lot of those illnesses and things come up and manifest when you're pregnant
Yeah.
or you're working a lot because you're trying to get a home and all these kinds of things. It intensifies. So if he doesn't want a woman who's sick, is
Yeah.
that the right man for you? So it starts with how does he treat his family, medical issues, things like that. And then you need to know also about who's been in his life. Has he had sexual diseases? You know, some people need a blood test before they get married,
I think that should be required.
but it's not anymore. Because see, back in the day when we got married, you didn't have to get a blood test. But years before us, you had to get a blood test before you get married.
Wow. I think that should be.
Because there are so many couples now who get married and you didn't know that this man had a same-sex relationship or he didn't know she had same-sex relationships before they got married. And now 5 years later, she has AIDS or she has some kind of,
STD.
yeah, that's not going to just go away and it's going to affect the children. Or
Yeah.
she's going to have outbreaks or he's going to have outbreaks. You need to know about whether or not they're pure.
Yeah. Wow. But not just the love
It's not just
side.
the love. Because this all of these things we
But
need
where
to
you
talk
been?
about. We need to know where you've been.
Yeah.
And we already know the spiritual side of that is everybody they slept with, that's who you bring into the honeymoon.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then they've got to purge them. And then you don't want to know
No.
that you're with your spouse and your spouse
So
thinking of
tired.
somebody else. So you got to know, hey, are you really over those people? Are
Wow.
they really out of your system? Are they out of your mind? Are they out of your heart? Because I don't
How
want to be
you
fighting the ghost of the lady past.
you can't you can't know that before you get married.
A
Hold
person
on. What I'm
knows.
thinking about. I don't know if you kind of figure out like what I'm thinking about, but like Like if he's over and people, maybe I'm only thinking about it on in a certain specific thing.
Like intimacy?
Yeah. Cause you know how like I've heard that some men want certain things, and it could be because that's what they've had. So then before you married, how do you, what is it? You're
But
supposed
see,
to ask
but those are
and
discussions
hope
that
he
you
tells
have
the
with
truth?
your marriage coach, like your pastor.
Okay.
You know, because it needs to be discussed.
Yeah.
And even down to, family planning, like, how many children do you want? And if you're
Yeah.
having a baby every year, is he going to be supportive or is he going to get tired of holding car seats?
Woo. Yeah.
And does he have children or she have children outside of the marriage? Because whoever that person's parent is, you're going to have to deal with them because they're a part of your marriage too.
Yeah. Wow. Ooh. You ain't on this by yourself.
So you all want a family vacation, but one of the kids got to go with their dad. Or one of the kids has to go with their mother this weekend. Or 65% of your income is going towards child support.
Woo. You know, First Lady, I told somebody, I said, I don't want a man who has kids. And they told me my standards are too high or I'm setting the bar too high or whatever because I'm already in my 30s. They said that basically I should be open to men with children because obviously if they are in their 30s, they already don't have kids.
That's your decision.
Okay.
That's not
Okay.
anybody else's decision. Just
Right.
because you're 30 doesn't mean you can't have a baby at 35.
Right. Right. But I don't want him to bring in the baby
Mm-hmm.
in the marriage. That's what I don't want.
Yeah.
Because then I have to deal with the baby mom.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure which one I'm going to
And you would have to, and that's the thing. There's a whole section in the book about that.
Yeah.
Because, and then if he has another child and then the two of you have a mutual child, are you able to treat his child the way you're treating the child in common? Because it's not fair to that child.
It's not. No. No.
And are you going to whoop that child differently than you're going to whoop your own?
Wow. Wow.
And yeah.
But then you can't. You may not be able to discipline them too because that's going to be based on
And
the
they can come to your
other
house every week and
parent.
be disrespectful. And there's
Disrespectful.
nothing you can do. If their mother says something and the dad's like,
I'm sorry. I say no.
there's a lot of dynamics to come. That's not, we're
Nah.
looking at worst case scenarios because some people have blended families and they do very well.
Yes.
But it's a matter of, are you open to dealing with a blended family?
Yeah.
And you need to have that discussion. Do you have any children?
Yeah. I grew up in a blended family.
Mhm.
So mine was good though. Mine was good. My stepmom, I don't even call her a stepmom. That's my mom. That was like a second mom to me.
Mhm.
She did everything. With my mom living in Haiti, and when I moved here, I moved in her house. She took me to school.
Wow.
Like everywhere we went, oh, here's my daughter, Erica. Like you would not have known. Even until this day, there are some people who just don't know. Her entire family literally call Vaughn's daughter. Like, it's literally like blended. When I say blended, blended.
So why would you not want a man who has children? If you were treated so well, what shifted in your life? That's your decision, but what kind of change shifted for you?
I'm not 100% saying he absolutely cannot have children. If that's what it turns out to be, I would be fine. But my mom wasn't a drama queen.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't calling my daddy, giving him a hard time. She wasn't calling me. She never told me anything bad about my dad. She never told me anything bad about my stepmom. They weren't cool. They weren't best friends. She lives in a whole nother country, but she would always tell me to be respectful. I'm looking at the world now. That's not what I'm seeing.
But the thing is, I would say then wipe your glasses.
She was old school.
But wipe your glasses and don't look at it through the lens of others.
Okay. Okay.
Okay? But this is why it helps you to decide, because these
Yeah.
are things you have to think about,
Yeah.
and really think about it. Can you handle parenting someone else's child? Someone else did it to you and treated
Scratch my
you
neck on that.
beautifully. Because it just may be that maybe he had this situation, but he can be a good father to them and be a good father to your children in common.
I can do well if it's a good situation.
But you can't guarantee that the other
Mm,
person is going to bring that. But can you still be you
I can
and
still
be
be
that
me.
support for him while he has to deal with his child's mother?
I can still be me, but after I just feel like I'm gonna be in my bed crying, and I don't know.
And that's why it's worth the discussion.
But I would definitely that's something that I would definitely see
Mhm.
before getting married, and I can kinda weigh in, 'cause then sometimes you get married and they like, "Oh, you married her and you couldn't marry me," so then
Yeah.
that could also be a thing. Ooh, listen. Whew. First lady. Listen, it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. But I think definitely with this book, the fact that it's a workbook.
Yeah.
It's a workbook. You can fill it out, you sit down with the person you're trying to get married with. You can fill it out on your own, then fill
Yeah.
it out again together. I would definitely have to do that, especially if that man got a child.
Yeah.
Cause that I feel like that's and even though my situation was good, it
Mhm.
doesn't mean that the next one might be good too. So
And there's so many different other things, even like down to how we dress.
yeah.
I know this one man, he used to complain all the time because he was dressed up and his wife didn't want to dress up. That was not her. She enjoyed t-shirt, jean skirt, tennis shoes, and he enjoyed a suit.
Oh wow.
That was a problem in their marriage. So it talks about dressing. Are you satisfied with how I love to dress me? Do you like the way he dresses himself?
Wow. That's important. That's important. That's important. And I love how the book it's not it doesn't just deal with like the surface level
Yeah.
things. Like it gets down to the nitty, gritty. Like we're looking at dressing, we're looking at hair, we're looking at finances,
Investing,
family history, investing. Yes.
medical
Yes.
issues.
It's very important to have health insurance.
Mhm.
That's all I'm going to say on that one. It's
And even how
very
you
important.
spend money.
Spending
Are the two of
habits,
you on the
yeah.
same page of how you spend money?
Yeah.
It's
Woo.
there's a lot involved.
It's a whole lot. And so before we end, because we're coming
Mhm.
to a close,
Mhm.
um, how can a single person foster a relationship with God before they get into marriage? Because that I feel like that's the only one that's
Mhm.
gonna be able to kind of help
Yeah.
in a lot of this.
They need a steady diet of church.
Fatty diet. Come on, first lady.
You must have a steady diet. You need to be in Sunday school
Hmm.
because that's how you learn how to be apostolic.
Yes.
That's how you learn the scriptures. That's how you learn how to be a woman. And then you need morning service
Hmm.
because you need what the pastor has to bring to the table, the meal of the day. You need night service to solidify everything you got that morning. You need Bible study
Hmm.
so you know how to study and how to build a relationship with God. And
Yes.
you need to be in prayer
Mm.
because you need a prayer life so you can
Woo.
hear from God.
Prayer. Mm.
Because when you get in love,
Prayer.
there's not one woman who gets in love and she's not dumb when she get in love. When you in love, you can't hear nothing.
Yeah.
And somebody can tell you, sis, I don't think that's a good thing for you, sis. I saw him do it. You can't hear nothing when you're in love.
Mm-mm.
You're deaf and dumb when you're in
Yeah.
love. So that's why, I mean, it's just the truth. You done been there. You're deaf and dumb when you're in love. No, I don't want to hear that because you're in love.
Yeah.
And this says, put your feet on the ground.
Yeah.
Let's make sure you're in love. Let's make sure this is going to work for you
Mm.
because divorce is no joke.
Wow. So, First Lady, where can we get this book?
Oh, you can get it. The website is thereadybook.com.
Yes,
Thereadybook.com. You can
thereadybook.com.
Google thereadybook.com, and I would be happy to get a copy out to you.
Yes, yes, beautiful. And look at the back. I don't think I showed the back, but look at the back.
Oh, thank you. To
Beautiful.
God be the glory.
Yes, and I think everyone should get this book, whether you are single thinking about marriage, because I got a copy at home.
Mhm.
Whether you're thinking about marriage, if you're dating, if you engage, honestly, even if you are married,
That's right.
because this can help that communication piece that we talked
Mhm.
about.
Yeah, get your marriage on track. Say, hey,
Yes.
listen, these are some areas that we've neglected.
Yeah.
Let's deal with this.
Yes. Any final words for our
You
viewers?
know, thank you for this opportunity to chat with you. I just love you.
I love you too.
I just love your mindset. And, you know, any young man who wants to inbox her,
Okay.
I will expect to see every single one of those messages. She is my daughter and I love her. I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist.
Those are your final words.
Those are my final words. Love life, love God. Just, you know, life is so wonderful and marriage can be wonderful. If you're looking at marriages that aren't good, you're looking at the wrong ones. So yeah, absolutely.
My goodness. That note. If this conversation has blessed you, make sure you follow this podcast. I can't finish my word. Tune in next time for more guests like First Lady.
Bye.